On with our presentation. This is your official good evening. Welcome to the Manitoba Master Gardener Program Information Session. My name is Shelley Walker. I'm the chair of the Manitoba Master Gardener Association. During this 45-minute presentation, our goal is to help you understand, first, what it means to be a master gardener. And secondly, what is involved in becoming a certified Manitoba Master Gardener. We would like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. We reaffirm our commitment to and responsibility for improving relationships between nations and improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. Most of us in Winnipeg, all of us in Winnipeg acknowledge that we are gathered on Treaty 1 territory, the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Cree, the Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene people, and also the homeland of the Métis Nation. Joining us tonight is Vanessa Young, the program coordinator for gardening at USAC, where our training programs reside. Vanessa, we are so glad that you can join us today to share the news about the Manitoba Master Gardener Training Program that's offered in partnership with the University of Saskatchewan. Thank you very much. And later in this session, Vanessa will be telling us more about the program and the instructors, and will be available also to answer questions. Our co-presenters for this meeting will now introduce themselves. So we'll start with Linda.
Hi, can everyone hear me? I hope so. I have to make sure that you can hear me. Yeah, my name is Linda Dietrich, and I've been a gardener for over 35 years and a master gardener since 2016. I am the education director of the Manitoba Master Gardener Association, and so I have the very interesting job of organizing events like this one. Right now, I'd like to introduce our main presenters for this evening, Marilena Kowalchuk and Gosha Barrett. Marilena?
Hi, everybody. Can you see me? Give me a wave, Linda. Awesome. Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Marilena Kowalchuk. I've been a Master Gardener intern since May 2022. 2022. In fact, I attended the MMGA info program session like you are tonight, just about a year ago. Now, how did I become to be enrolled in the MMGA program? Well, I have a background in botany and plants in natural areas, but I only recently became active in gardening, like only in the past few years. I really enjoy cut flowers. Even with a strong knowledge of plants, I still really had a lot of gaps in my learning, like soils and pests. So I started watching YouTube videos, reading blogs, and joining various groups on social media, and found that there are a lot of gardening experts with a lot of contradicting information. Until I started attending gardening at USask webinars during the pandemic. With all the learning that I was doing, I felt it would be beneficial to get some credit for all the time I was putting into my learning. You know, because you can't watched a bunch of YouTube videos on a resume. So I was digging around and considering different programs. And then I learned about the Manitoba Master Gardeners Association program. And that seemed like a really great fit for me. I really appreciate learning at my own pace, the science-based best practices, the volunteer and community services aspect. Plus, I really enjoy learning from Vanessa, who I feel I kind of got to know during the Gardening at USask webinars. I did discuss it with a friend, and we encouraged each other to enroll. And then fast forward less than a year, and I'm now on the education committee and really enjoying connecting with people who also love growing plants. And I'll pass it on to Gosha.
Hi, everyone. It's very nice to meet you all virtually. I'm Gosha Barrett, and I've been in the Master Gardener program since about 2020. And recently, actually, I wrote the final exam and have now received my certificate. I'm also a member of the East Kildonan Garden Club, and that is where I heard about the program, as many of my gardening colleagues are master gardeners themselves. I've always had an interest in gardening. I grew up with family who were gardeners and always had an interest in it. And in fact, even when I lived in a condo, I would have, herbs growing on a windowsill, or I would constantly read gardening books and watch YouTube videos. And it wasn't until I moved into a house that had a yard that I really took an interest in gardening and on a much larger scale, because now I had more room to do so. But what piqued my interest in the Master Gardener program was because it's a science-based education that I received from teachers that had extensive knowledge of the various subject matters that we will discuss this evening. And of course, as Marilena had said, Vanessa is one of them. So that's great. And I really enjoy the independent study part of the program because I still work full time. I was able to complete the courses sort of on my own pace. So that was really helpful. And also being a part of the Manitoba Master Gardener community has enabled me to learn from others and participate in many different gardening events, whether they were educational sessions or having an opportunity to visit some of the gardens of some of the members and gaining some, inspiration for my own garden. So if you have any questions that are specific to from the perspective of a student in the program, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. And I really hope that you enjoy this evening and that you enjoy our presentation, and that it will inspire you to want to follow in the footsteps of all of us who have taken the courses through the University of Saskatchewan. So thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gosha, and thank you, Marilena. You'll be hearing a lot more from them in the rest of the presentation. Now, what I would like to just give you a bit of an overview now of tonight's presentation. We're going to cover things such as who we are, and that would be covering a bit of our mission, history, and role in the community. What do we do? And our main focus is to share information with other gardeners so that we can all become better in the long run. And why would you like to become a master gardener? There are a lot of benefits and, quite frankly, good times with the membership. But most importantly, tonight, we want to tell you, how do you become a master gardener? And we'll talk about the online classes, the volunteer practicum, an exam, and finally, how to request certification after you've completed all those points. Now, by way of explaining who we are, I would like to start with our mission statement, which you see there. The Manitoba Master Gardener Association cultivates the development and the continuous education of master gardeners. And tonight we're talking about the development of master gardeners. We also support volunteerism in our communities, and plural all across Manitoba. And we encourage sustainable, proven gardening practices throughout Manitoba. Now, I'm going to turn it over now to our other co-presenters. And Marilena will tell us a bit more about being a master gardener and what it's all about. Marilena, it's yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So if you have met any master gardeners, you probably already know that we're passionate about gardening. Master gardeners are a respected group of people who have been trained in all aspects of gardening and then certified through Master Gardener associations in their region. In Manitoba, since January 2022, Master Gardener training is offered totally online through the University of Saskatchewan, where our training program was originally developed. While the training is done through online classes through the University of Saskatchewan, in our province, the certifying body is the Manitoba Master Gardener Association. The Manitoba Master Gardener Association, that's us, is a nonprofit organization with no paid staff. All of our many activities are organized and run by our member volunteers. The Master Gardener concept began in Washington State in 1972. The University of Washington trained volunteers in horticulture basics and gave them the name Master Gardeners. They shared gardening information with the public, hosted the university's gardening helpline, and volunteered in community gardening projects. This idea of volunteers providing gardening education and leadership grew in popularity, so much so that today Master Gardener programs are offered in 9 Canadian provinces and all 50 US states. When Manitoba Master Gardeners Association was founded in 2011, there were fewer than 12 Master Gardeners in Manitoba. Today, there are 107 certified Master Gardeners in the MMGA, plus 64 Master Gardener Interns completing certification requirements. That's a total of 171 MMGA members doing a lot of great work in Manitoba's communities. We would really love it if you joined us. Gardening really matters today more than ever before. Master gardeners have the ability to make a difference in their communities, especially in a time of climate change. The sustainable gardening practices that we support promote health and well-being for both humans and the natural environment. In recent years, no doubt in response to the challenges of the pandemic and climate change, we have seen a surge of interest in sustainable, environmentally aware gardening. Perhaps many of you in our audience consider yourselves part of that movement. As Master Gardeners, we certainly see ourselves as part of it. What do Master Gardeners do? First and foremost, Master Gardeners are volunteers committed to helping and educating others in the community. Certified Manitoba Master Gardeners give a minimum of 20 volunteer hours each year in service to their communities. There are many different types of volunteer opportunities. At gardening events, you may have seen our banner and display booth, shown in this image, and our information teams. Volunteering at gardening-related events throughout the province is one of the most visible of Master Gardeners' activities. But there are lots of other exciting community projects undertaken by our members. Encouraging and cultivating young gardeners and young minds is one of the most enjoyable things we do. Here, one of our Master Gardeners teaches some eager children at a hands-on learning session. Master Gardener workshops are popular with both our members and the public. In an interesting session offered through one of our study groups, participants were invited to deepen their knowledge through a seed starting workshop. Like most organizations during the pandemic, we introduced online sessions via Zoom. That has allowed us to connect more of our members with each other and with a wider audience, all without anybody leaving home. A big part of our role as Master Gardeners is answering gardening questions from the general public. Our volunteers do this regularly at events such as CD Saturday, Gardening Saturday, and Earth Day, as garden volunteers at Assiniboine Park, on our garden tours. Mark your calendars, the next one is on July 15th, 2023, as well as online through our website and email, which is ask@mgmanitoba.com. Master Gardeners also share their knowledge by giving presentations on a wide range of topics to garden clubs, at libraries, and at our own educational events. Members with specialized knowledge about plants are valuable resources for others who would like to learn more about how to grow specific plants successfully. In this photo, for example, a Master Gardener is talking about irises. Volunteer opportunities include serving on committees and boards of gardening organizations, including those of the MMGA. There are also many opportunities to write gardening articles, develop how-to videos, and so on. Master Gardeners and MG interns write articles for the MMGA newsletter and website, for newspapers, and other periodicals like the Prairie Garden, for blogs, as well as for online publications. So what are the benefits to you if you become a member of the Master Gardeners Association? To start this list, here's a collage of photos from a fun activity we hold to honor and celebrate our members and their activities, the annual Members Wind Up event. At this year's Wind Up event in November 2022, we all enjoyed fun and food, plus the chance to win prizes. We also appreciated welcoming renowned wildlife and nature photographer, videographer, and author Dennis Fast as our guest speaker. Events such as this help us to get to know other members, find out what projects they're involved with, and get some really great gardening tips. There are many other benefits as well. Study groups are one of the most valuable benefits of being part of the MMGA. These are smaller groups of master gardeners and interns who live in the same area, so that it's easier to meet. You'll be invited to your local study group if you wish when you register for the Manitoba Master Gardener Training Program. We all really enjoy getting to know other Master Gardeners and Master Gardener interns in our immediate locale through our study groups. The groups gather regularly in members' homes or public locations, most often monthly, for fellowship and mutually supported learning. Some groups meet in person, some on Zoom, and others do a mix. Each group decides how they want to structure their meetings and what their learning activities will be, whether a presentation from a group member or a guest speaker, an informal sharing of experiences, or an outing. The photo shows a group in the park learning about trees. Some study groups feature tours of each other's gardens in summer, or a combination of all of the above during a given year. As many of you will already know, the MMGA hosts an annual garden tour in Winnipeg. We look forward to our next one on July 15th, 2023. We've already identified homeowners who are willing to open their beautiful gardens. We'll also be hosting once again our annual MMGA plant sale on June 3rd. It's a popular source for perennials, annuals, and edibles at very attractive prices. And I'll just tell you that there'll be plants available at this sale that you will not find in any nursery. And it's really great because some of the people who grow the plants are there giving you information and telling you where to plant them, etc. Our garden tour and plant sale are the main fundraising events for the MMGA, but they are also a lot of fun for the volunteers who run them. MGs and MG interns who volunteer to answer questions at home gardens during the tour are offered a private tour in advance. Also, as a way to celebrate the success of the garden tour, we also gather a few days later for dinner in the garden of one of our member volunteers. From time to time, the MMGA also hosts bus tours to visit gardens in different parts of our province. The example shown here was the Interlake bus tour held in June 2018. An enthusiastic busload of gardeners, both MMGA members and others, visited 6 amazing gardens. The photo is of Master Gardener Cheryl Jeski's stunning pesticide-free garden on the shores of Lake Winnipeg. The day was a smashing success, including a final stop at a garden center in the Interlake focused on organic gardening. The bus returned home with a baggage compartment packed full of plant purchases. Although in-person garden tours were put on hold during the pandemic, we helped to produce 2 video series, each featuring 6 virtual garden tours entitled Gardening in the Heart. The videos were produced in partnership with Bell MTS and renowned film director Elise Swerhone, now certified Manitoba Master Gardener. The videos aired in 2021 and 2022 on community television, but both series can now be viewed for free on our website. Shown on the slide is a scene being filmed for one of the videos. That's Master Gardener Ed Amon, who knows more about growing tomatoes and peppers than you can even imagine. Shown here is Tiffany Grankow from the Sustainable South Osborne Community Co-op in Winnipeg, presenting at our Education Day in 2020. Through the MMGA, you have ongoing opportunities to engage in lifelong learning through seminars and workshops, special events with guest speakers, study groups, and other networking events. Continuing education and lifelong learning are integral to being a certified Master Gardener. And it starts during the Master Gardener internship period. Interns are welcome at all Master Gardener learning events, many of them still offered on Zoom. These opportunities help us stay abreast of developments in the gardening world, including dealing with the challenges of gardening in a changing climate. There are also opportunities to network online with other Master Gardeners across Canada and in the US, such as at the International Master Gardener Conference held every 2 years. Many groups, including universities and other Master Gardener associations, offer informative online symposiums and webinars that anyone can join. Many Master Gardeners and interns across Canada take advantage of these events. One of the continuous benefits of being part of an international horticultural organization is the breadth of readily available resources for the science-based information you need as a Master Gardener, so that you can research your articles and presentations and answer questions from the public. At the same time, for many of us, learning about gardening in the company of other gardeners is a form of recreation. It's a lot of fun. Master Gardener interns receive a free membership in the MMGA for up to 2 years while active in the University of Saskatchewan training program. This complimentary membership gives you full member benefits, including our bi-monthly newsletter, member pricing at events, and access to the members only section of our website and volunteer job listings. Whether you are a Master Gardener intern or a certified Master Gardener, you are a valuable part of our learning community. We support one another through ongoing mentorship. So I hope these slides have given you some understanding of what it means to be a Master Gardener. I'm now going to turn the presentation over to Gosha, who will walk us through the requirements for becoming a certified Manitoba Master Gardener. Gosha?
Thank you very much, Marlena. So we are very delighted to have Vanessa Young with us, as Shelley mentioned earlier. And Vanessa will share remarks with us after I outline the basic program. I should mention at the beginning, though, that all this information will be shared with you after the presentation. So please don't worry about having to write all of the details down. Now, the first step is to register in the University of Saskatchewan's Master Gardener online training program through the special Manitoba starting page on their website. This training is offered through a partnership of the MMGA and the Department of the University of Saskatchewan's College of Agriculture and Bioresources, which I will refer to as Gardening at USacs. Now let's go through the process in a little bit more detail. So these are the steps to follow to certification. So the first is to register with U of Sask and take the online Master Gardener basic training program. Then you have to complete the 40 hours of MMGA practicum within 2 years, pass the basic training program exam, which is open book, by the way, and then pay the annual MMGA membership fee, which is the $25, to become a certified Manitoba Master Gardener. Now, I just want to briefly talk about the online classes. The required 10 courses equal around 62 hours of coursework. Each course is divided into modules that you can complete at your own pace. Each module includes a short test on the materials from that particular module. 10 courses seem like a lot, but you have 5 years to complete them, so the pace of work is flexible. Now, the registration process happens online. The University of Saskatchewan has created a landing page and a link for the Manitoba program, which enables you to start the process of becoming a Master Gardener. So you would go to gardening.usacs.ca and click on the certificates and degrees link. Then select Manitoba Master Gardener certificate from the menu, which will take you to the webpage showing here. When you scroll down on this webpage, you will see all of the information that you need. You'll be able to register directly from this site. Once you have registered in the specific course called the Manitoba Master Gardener Training Program, the MMGA will receive an automatic notification and they'll get in touch with you. You are free to start your training with some other courses, but remember that this is the one that tells us that you are interested in joining the Manitoba or the Master Gardeners of Manitoba. Okay. So once you register in the Manitoba program, you will be invited to join the MMGA and receive your free 2-year membership in the MMGA. When that complimentary membership expires, and even if you are still an intern at that time, you will need to pay the annual $25 membership fee to remain connected to the MMGA. To see descriptions of all of the required courses, visit our MMGA website. You can see the MG program tab, or go directly to our Manitoba page on the University of Saskatchewan website for current descriptions of the Master Gardener courses. Okay, so I will go over the practicum internship requirements now. The 40 hours are completed within your own community, no matter where you live in Manitoba. Interns track their hours on an intern log sheet, and the completed hours will be approved by MMGA prior to registering and writing the exam. Now, some examples of qualified volunteer hours for interns may include volunteering in a local garden club. So such as myself, I volunteer at the East Kildonan Garden Club, or other horticultural organizations, assisting master gardeners in their community projects and serving on MMGA committees. Activities that would not qualify, and this is important, would not qualify for volunteer hours, are things like working in on your own landscape, either a garden of a friend or a family member, or working for a for-profit business. The MMGA volunteer coordinator is available to help you find suitable volunteer opportunities. Many are offered and scheduled through our online volunteer management platform, which is called the Volunteer Impact. And this is where you can sign up for to volunteer for an event or take shifts that work for you at these volunteer events. I will now briefly describe the courses, beginning with the Manitoba Master Gardener course. This course is your official registration into the Manitoba Master Gardener program. So your registration in this course signals to the University of Saskatchewan that you want to become a Master Gardener. Until then, you are considered a general interest student only. Some people prefer to try out a course or two in the Master Gardener program first, which is perfectly fine to do. However, once you know that you want to become a Master Gardener, register right away with the Manitoba portion of the certificate program. As I mentioned, the Manitoba Master Gardener Association then receives an automated email from USACS letting us know that you are a new MG intern. Our membership director will contact you to add you to our 2023 intern class list. You then receive your 2-year free MMGA membership, including our newsletter, notices about events that you may wish to participate in, and the chance to join an MMGA study group in your area. The fee for the certification course includes tracking as you would complete the program and the examination fee. However, the course also includes 8 hours of pre-taped videos on key topics for gardening on the prairies. These videos serve as textbooks and critical background for other courses. The Gardening Fundamentals course teaches you about ecological sound best practices, approaches to gardening on the Canadian prairies, pesticide-free. and you learn the science behind gardening. And just a personal note, it's one of my favorites. Just wanted to say that. So you understand basic horticultural, will help you answer common gardening problems and help you become a better gardener. The course begins with a brief overview of a sustainable approach to gardening, does a deep dive into soil health, then focuses on relevant plant growth and botany, and concludes with direct advice on how to garden effectively. This course is a prerequisite for several other courses, as you will see. It's a good course to start with, but remember to register in the Manitoba certification course as soon as you know you want to be a Master Gardener to get the benefits. Botanical Latin. This course teaches students to use the worldwide scientific plant classification and naming system in practical ways. Armed with knowledge of how and why plants are named, students can make better choices for what to purchase and how to describe plants using this universal system of identification. As with all the courses in the program, this course features on-demand video lectures, handouts, and online multiple choice testing that students can use as study tools until they are satisfied with their knowledge. Trees and shrub identification teaches students to identify common tree and shrub varieties to ensure that choices will thrive in the challenging conditions of the Canadian prairies. Now, gardening fundamentals and botanical Latin are prerequisites for this class, or for this course, I'm sorry. Insects in your yard and garden. This course identifies insects in yards and gardens and helps gardeners distinguish among the types of insects present in our gardens and how each contributes to a healthy ecosystem. This course will group various species of insects based on their characteristic traits. It is recommended, though not required, to have taken gardening fundamentals prior to taking this course. Now, the photo that you see was sent to our Ask at portal, which is a problem advice feature on the MMGA website by a homeowner who discovered this pest in their fruit tree. It was identified as the larvae stage of a native stink bug. Some stink bug varieties are seen as harmful, whereas other varieties are seen as beneficial. Plant diagnosis for home gardeners. So Master Gardeners are often faced with the question, what's wrong with my plant? So this course teaches approaches to analyzing and diagnosing plant problems that go beyond looking at just insects and diseases. You will learn to apply your knowledge about garden fundamentals, botany, plant physiology, diseases, insects, and disorders. Case studies are used to illustrate the process and the pitfalls of diagnosis. You come away with practical strategies of where to look for answers when something goes wrong with the plant. Again, gardening fundamentals is a prerequisite for this course as well. Common plant disorders. As we know, plant disorders are caused by non-living factors that interfere with plant health. Disorders are more common than most people think and are often the underlying cause of a plant disease and insect problem. Climate change is one of the many factors that can cause disorders. You learn about the spectrum of causes of plant disorders and how disorders impact plants, and you will gain insight into how to garden more sustainably. Gardening fundamentals as well is a prerequisite for this course. And common plant diseases. Here you would learn how to identify common plant diseases found in the landscape. Disease life cycle, prevention, control are all discussed. And gardening fundamentals is also a prerequisite. Safe use of pesticides and alternatives. Now, this course teaches techniques to avoid pesticide use, as well as when and how to use home pesticides safely if necessary. Although University of Saskatchewan's training is a pesticide-free program, it is a required course for Master Gardener certification since pesticide use is common. Part of being a master gardener is understanding common practices and giving appropriate advice. It is recommended that you take the gardening fundamentals prior to taking this course as well. Communications. Think about the greatest story you've ever heard or the best speech that you've ever heard. What made it unforgettable? Effective communication is a process that involves both the head and the heart. Communication, so the communications course is a hybrid course with an online and a live session component. You must complete part 1 before you complete part 2. Now, part 1 is the online course where you learn independently on your own pace, whereas part 2 is online in a group situation with an instructor via Zoom, and is scheduled 3 times per year in the fall, winter, and spring. You'll need to complete the learning handout from part 1, the online portion of the course, prior to taking part 2 of the communications course. So this slide offers a summary of all of the courses and the cost of each, and the approximate number of hours to complete online and working at your own pace. The full program, like I mentioned earlier, roughly is about 62 hours to complete. However, you can retake any or all of the courses if you want, and for no extra cost. And in our view, all of this really offers you a very good value. And now, without further ado, I would like to pass the presentation on to Vanessa, who will give us a little bit more information about the University of Saskatchewan. Vanessa?
Hey everybody, my name is Vanessa Young. I'm a horticulturist with the University of Saskatchewan, and I manage the Gardening at USask programming. And I wanted to introduce myself and give you guys a little bit of background of who we are at Gardening at USask, because as you can see, we do a lot of the educational portion of your Master Gardener training. Now, Gozia was just really kind enough to go through all of the different classes with you guys. And if after seeing all that, you're feeling a little overwhelmed, remember what she said. You can try just one class and then really see if it meets your needs. And then when you're ready, you dive right into it. And I really strongly encourage you, like she said, to join with your local Master Gardener Society, because that's where you find your people and that's where you find your passion. And that's where you learn about all these cool plants. Like, I will teach you how to garden, and I'll teach you how to not just what to do, but to understand why you're doing what you're doing, so that you can make good choices, so that when somebody gives you advice on the internet, you can look at that and say, that doesn't quite sound right, or that sounds way too complicated, when all you got to do is put the plant in the ground and give it some water. So you can start to think some of this stuff through and make really good choices and garden efficiently, because we all want our summers to be happy, and we all want our garden to be a place that feeds our soul, not our frustration. So some of the good strengths here at Gardening at USask is that we have a really active and internationally known horticulture department. We've got a very, very significant fruit breeding program. We do some different activities around that. A lot of that got shut down during COVID. We do plan to bring some of that back. We couldn't do it this year, but I'm looking probably at next year at bringing back some of the in-person stuff that we were doing, because we were very active. And it's a really good chance. Like right now, you guys have the opportunity to meet as many people in Manitoba as you can, get involved in your local organization, and try to meet more people beyond your borders as well, because we have a lot to learn from each other. We've got lots of stuff for you guys for free online. I really encourage you to visit our website, www.gardening.usask.ca. We've got about 300 pages of free gardening advice, probably at least 100 videos on there to help you, including my very favorite, the compost song. And it's a little sing-along, and you can sing along with Sarah Williams, who owns my soul, and learn and have fun. And that's who we are as a program. Really, that whole thing captures it. We want you guys to be interested and engaged and passionate and learning as you go how to make your yard a better place, but also this whole universe a better place. Because as gardeners, that's who we are. We're connected people. So all the people who teach for us at Gardening at USask are every bit as optimistic and naive as I am. We love to garden, and we've made this our lives, and we're really excited to get you guys excited about growing. So we want you guys to learn as much as you can, and we're available. So all of our classes are online, and as you go through, if you only took one class, if you're just going to start with one thing, I would start with garden fundamentals, because that will give you a really deep overview of where your starting point is. And all of our classes, like that one's 16 hours long, which is crazy. You have to listen to my voice for 16 hours. And my kids don't know why people pay pay to listen to my voice, but that's okay. So everything's broken down. It's like half an hour, 45-minute segments, and then you'll have like self-tests as you go. And you can do those tests over and over again until you're happy with your understanding, because our program isn't about tricking you or trying to make you fail the exam. We want you to be able to do this over and over again as learning opportunities. And you can go back as you work through your Master Gardener training. Those tests are going to be there the whole time, and those exact same questions are the same questions that are in your Master Gardener final exam. So you can just practice it. And even in your Master Gardener final exam, you can just do it over and over again. I won't look, I promise I won't look if you like get like 30% on your, you won't, we make sure you won't, but you can just keep doing it. And you say, hey, Vanessa, I got like 97%. You can come check my grade now. And that's the only one I look at, I promise. So we've got lots of good things going for us. We've got really passionate instructors, lots of good information. There's handouts with the classes. There's teachers teaching you. I'm available by email if you have any questions, and I can get a hold of most of our instructors really, really quickly. If you have like, hey, I didn't quite get that, can you help me? We can help you. We've also got Garden Line at the university. So Garden Line is a seasonal thing. And we pay a specialist who actually answers your questions. And that's her entire job, is to answer questions from the public and help them with their gardening problems. So whether you're involved with our programming or not, we invite you to use this free service, and it will help you be better in your own spaces. It'll help you identify an insect, a plant, make some choices if you need to plant a tree, a lot of different things that we can help you with. We've got social media. We post timely tips on things that you should be doing. We've got a really active newsletter, and we've got a really engaged group of people. Like, this is our gardening family. I'm so blessed to work with this group of people and to work with you guys. And I learn new stuff all the time. And I like that. So our classes do what's called a best practice approach. That means we recognize that there's probably 100 ways that you could be successful, but maybe not all of them work as well as the others. So what we do is we go through all the different ways you could be successful. And it's like, these ones don't work very well. These 10 have some promise. We'll go through and we'll ask a whole series of questions to decide which ones actually work the best. If I was just going to pick one or two things, which one is the most efficient way to learn? So we're going to be very biased towards scientific research and things that work, which means as science learns more things, our advice might change. So something that is always good is using something like an arborist wood chip mulch. That's always good advice. That's almost always going to be your best practice advice. Something that is not going to be your best practice advice is something like landscape fabric. That's really common. If you've got that in your yard, get it out of your yard. It doesn't belong where plants are supposed to be alive. And a good example of something that, as the science developed, we changed the type of advice we give is stuff like using papers as a sheet mulch. So there was a time that we used to recommend that people use newspapers as a sheet mulch underneath their arborist wood chip mulch, and we don't recommend that anymore because there's a lot of studies that have shown how many problems that it creates for the soils and things like that, and it's unnecessary. So we're not going to complicate things unnecessarily, and we're not going to cause problems that we don't need to cause if there's a more efficient way to do things. And that's not to say that, oh, you're awful if you do this. It's just to say that when we look at this, we know that you can be successful by doing this. People have been gardening for 50 years with landscape fabric, and they still have pretty plants, but they're working a lot harder than they need to be. And they're doing a lot of things to the soil that they don't need to do to the soil, and they can have healthier soil with less effort and be more environmentally sustainable while they do it. So we're going to teach you how to make those choices as we go through some of our programming, and not just say this is the right answer. We want you to understand why we're suggesting this so that you can make these decisions for yourself. You can explain these decisions to other people. And then when new stuff comes up, you can think about that stuff and you can really understand how to make your own decisions in your own spaces, because everybody's context is different. And you need to honor your context to decide what works best for you, because sometimes it's about more than just the science. I don't know about you, I can get lost in rapture looking at a sunbeam, and that's got nothing to do with science. And I think I do hort therapy as well. And I think that's a really important part to recognize that when we're learning about gardening, we're learning about the environment, we're learning about our community, we're learning about how everything functions together and how one minor change in your garden echoes throughout the whole ecosystem. One minor change in how we approach our life, how we approach just our management of everything in general that goes through everything. And it's fun because, as you'll know, if you join this community, gardeners are passionate, engaged, exciting people, and they will welcome you into this community, and they'll help you be just as passionate about everything as we are. So welcome. And if you have any questions, I'll be here afterwards. And oh, I did almost forget one thing. When everybody was talking, as a thank you to everybody here, I said that we have a lot of Zoom classes online that are outside of the Master Gardener program. They're 2 hours, Tuesday, Thursday evenings, typically $20 per class. We have one that's super duper popular coming up, and maybe some of you kind of tweaked when I said, oh, best practice arborist wood chips, no to landscape fabrics and paper mulches. As a thank you to everybody coming to visit us tonight, I've opened up 50 free seats in the free class coming up on no-till gardening, and it goes through, it'll blow your mind. It's going through all, you never need to use a tiller, and we're going to put lots of mulch down, and we're going to keep weeds away. We're going to improve your soil. It's that whole approach to deciding how to manage a garden in a very different way than a lot of people garden. And this class is going to fill up. There will definitely be no free seats. I opened 50 seats about 5 minutes ago. If you want to do this free class, those seats are there for you guys tonight. I've told nobody else this exists, but if somebody else on the internet finds it, or if you tell your friends, they will disappear before everybody in this class gets to register. So as soon as this is over, go to www.gardening.usas.ca, go to our online workshops and get in on that free class. As a huge thank you for joining us tonight. All right, I'll stick around for classes or for questions after this. Gosia, I think you're up next. Oh, Linda.
I'm up next.
Hey, Linda.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And I want to ask everybody in the audience, like, how could you not take a class with somebody who is this passionate about gardening, who shares your passion about gardening? And you heard it here first, right? A free course, right? That you can, you've just opened up. How many more seats? 50 more seats.
50 more seats. Yeah, enough for everybody who's here tonight.
So gardening.usas.ca. All right. Let me just go forward here a little ways.
Oh, sorry, Linda.
While
you're doing that, I just wanted to mention that we did mention that we're pesticide free, and we are definitely pesticide free. When you take any of our classes, there's a big push on people planting native plants. And I think it's really important to recognize that native plants are really important for our environment, but our regular garden plants are really important for our environment too. So is the diversity and everything. So as you're going through the education, you're going to see it very balanced in that way, that we will have lots of gardening plants, plus also lots of native plants involved, so that there's something for everybody in there. That's a question I get fairly frequently.
That's a really good point to make. Thank you so much, Vanessa. And
no problem.
Like, tell me, folks, don't you want to take a course with Vanessa after hearing her here? Anyway, as you can see, there are tremendous resources available to our interns, starting with the University of Saskatchewan program. The classes there, their website, which has unbelievable resources, and our own Manitoba Master Gardener Association website, and our social media, which you see listed here. Please consider visiting also our website at mgmanitoba.com. That's mgmanitoba, all one word, .com, where you will find gardening resources such as how-to videos and examples of local homeowners' gardening questions on the Ask At page. You can also find us on these social media, and you can follow Gardening at USask on these same channels for access to a variety of resources. So I'm going to pass the presentation back to Shelley, the chair of the Manitoba Master Gardener Association, who will wrap up and open the question and answer component.
Great,
thank you. Just go forward here.
Thank you, Linda. We certainly hope that for all of you in the audience, this presentation has helped you learn more about the Manitoba Master Gardeners Association, and that you now have a basic understanding of the requirements for becoming a certified Master Gardener through this fully online program offered through the University of Saskatchewan. You can look over the course material and online, and we invite you to enroll soon so that you can begin your journey soon. Remember, you can enroll whenever you want and study at times that work best for you. And so for the information session, this is the conclusion. And we are very excited that you were interested in the Manitoba Master Gardener program. Vanessa, we want to thank you so much again for all that you have done to make this collaboration possible. And thank you also for taking time to join us today. So before we go on to the question period, I do want to also extend the thanks to all our presenters, Vanessa, Marilena, Gosha, and Linda. Thank you, thank you. And thanks also to all of those that have worked behind the scenes to make this possible, such as our Manitoba Master Gardeners Association education program, who developed the content for this session. Also, many thanks for our tech resources. These things don't happen smoothly unless you have good, strong tech people behind you. And this evening, that was Nadine Campton and Linda Dietrich. Once again, to our participants listening in and participating, thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope this information helps you on your journey towards the Master Gardener. Now,